So tonight I'm just going to share a couple of odd, random memories from my youth. So let's see, one summer, I think we were in junior high school, I would say, my friend Kim and I decided we were going to take tennis lessons. Somebody, local guy, was offering tennis lessons to the kids, and so my friend and I signed up for them. And we were so silly. We thought this guy was so cute. His name was Scott. Tell me why I remember this guy's name was Scott. I mean, this was like early 70s, early to mid 70s. The guy's name was Scott. And we just thought he was so cute. We thought he looked like Tony Orlando, and we both had massive crushes on Tony Orlando. Many of you probably don't even know who that is, but he was a musician. So we would go and take these tennis lessons, and we were at the junior high school where they actually had tennis courts. But we didn't have any tennis courts near us, so in lieu of playing tennis on a tennis court, we would go across the street from my house where the elementary school was. Now the elementary school was kind of like a U-shaped, if you will. So between this side was open, and then building, building, building. So between these two walls, we would hit the tennis ball against the wall, and we didn't know what racquetball was. I don't even know if it existed back then, but we kind of played like you would play racquetball today, where somebody serves, hits it against the wall, and the second person has to get it after one bounce. So my friend Kim and I, we did this all the time, all summer. That's how we practiced our tennis. Now, granted, when we got to a net, we were hopeless, but we had fun beating a tennis ball against the schoolyard wall. I remember one day we were over there playing, and we kept getting in each other's way, trying to get the next shot. And Kim went to get a shot, and I was in the way, trying to get out of her way, and in the process of her backswing, she caught me right above the eye with her racket and just split my eyebrow open, and I was bleeding all over the place. So, yes, I've got it. I have a scar from my best friend from my youth. Another random memory I had was from, I don't know what makes me think of these things, but this, I'll spare you and just give you one more. So, in elementary school, the string program started for 4th grade. I'm not quite sure why, but you had the opportunity to learn to play a stringed instrument for the orchestra starting in 4th grade. So I picked the cello, or they picked it for me, I don't remember. But anyways, I started playing cello in 4th grade. Well, then in 5th grade, you had an opportunity to learn a band instrument. So I really wanted to play trumpet. I don't know why, but I really wanted to play the trumpet. But for some reason, the band director looked at my teeth and my mouth and said, oh, and I guess he knew I was a musician too because I had a pretty good ear, you should play the French horn. It's like, okay, fine, I'll play the French horn. Well, the really weird part about this, so you had like, maybe half a year's worth of lessons by the school band director. But band and orchestra met in the junior high school building, which was like, I don't know, between 8 and 10 blocks away from the elementary school. So band and orchestra met at the same time on the same day. So I had to take my cello and my French horn to school with me, and then after school, lug both of those instruments, and I was not a big kid, I was actually quite puny, really skinny. Anyways, so I'm trying to haul my French horn and my cello across town into the junior high school, and I would go and play. For half the rehearsal, I would play with the orchestra with my cello, and then I'd pack up my cello, and I'd run down the hall, and I'd rehearse with the band for the second half of however long this was, hour and a half or whatever. But how weird is that they would split it up like that? Number one, that they had it at the junior high school, and then that they had band and orchestra meeting at the same time in 2 different rooms. What a pain. So I did that for 2 years, because I played cello 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, and 8th actually. And then in 5th grade I played French horn, and then 6th grade I switched to trumpet. Then the other weird thing about our music program, by the time you got to junior high school, which was grade 7 and 8, you had to choose between band and choir. They met at the same time. So it's like, who decided that? Because I was a singer too. I've been harmonizing probably since I was 4 years old, because my mom sang alto, so I developed an ear for harmony at a very young age, and so I was always singing harmonies. Anyway, so in junior high school I had to choose between band and choir, and because, as you could tell, I have a low voice. I've always had a low voice, and I could read music, and the boys' voices hadn't really changed yet. They needed tenors, so I sang tenor in junior high school choir, which meant I had to drop my band instrument. I could still play orchestra, because orchestra met at a different time by that point. I don't know, it was weird. So by the time I got to high school, I wasn't playing any band instruments or any orchestra instruments, because I dropped the cello. So my parents told me, you need to get into marching band. You're not going to have any fun in high school if you're not playing in the marching band. I was like, well, I don't have an instrument anymore. My brother had played the trombone from 5th grade through high school. And so I went to the band director, and my parents want me to be in the marching band. You need like a xylophone player or something. And he's like, no, we don't need a xylophone. But your brother played the trombone, didn't he? We need trombonists. Get him to teach you how to play the trombone and show up to band camp. Okay. So that whole summer before, I guess it was before 9th grade, my brother had just graduated high school, and he was working at a gas station, the mobile gas station. And I kept asking him every time he'd come home from work, I said, Paul, you need to teach me how to play this thing. I got to go to band camp. And yeah, we'll get to it. So like a week before band camp started, he finally taught me how to play a C scale on the trombone. Now, for those of you who don't know much about the trombone is a brass instrument with a slide, and there are 7 slide positions. So it's not like like the trumpet or the French horn where you've got valves. You have to figure out by ear and sort of generally where the slide is for these 7 positions, and there's alternate positions for most of the notes. Anyways, he taught me how to play a C scale. So I toddled off to band camp with his trombone, knowing how to play a C scale. And that's it. I could read the notes, of course, because I played piano since I was little. So it wasn't reading the music that was a problem, but just like what position the notes were in. So they hand out music. First year, marching band. What's one of the songs that we're playing? Sir Duke. Yes, Sir Duke. And of course, the trombones have like the lead in the middle. Bum ba da dum ba da dum ba ba dum ba ba da ba da bum ba da bum ba da ba ba, and it's all over the place. I was a mess. I'm like, I have no. So I ran home and I made my brother sit down and write every single position on every single note so that I could learn that thing, because I was not going to be bested by some silly piece of music. So by the 10th grade, I was playing in the dance band, and it was just wild. So anyways, those were my random memories from tonight. I don't know what made me think of them, but those were my random musical memories. Oh, and a memory about tennis. So that will end my video for tonight on my 90-day challenge. I haven't said that for a while, but I'm on my 90-day challenge, and I think this is day 64, if I'm not mistaken. So day 64 of my 90 consecutive days of doing videos, and that will be a wrap for tonight. So take care, and God bless.